and those who have lost their jobs as a result of the coronavirus. Swamnel Agarwal is the CEO and managing partner of Nyan Capital and Kalyan Property Management. Through his foundation, Kalyan Cares, apartment tenants will benefit all 20,000 apartment units owned by Kalyan in Texas, Nevada, Utah, and Kansas, and they will receive or be offered up to $1,000 towards their apartment rent. This applies to all tenants who have lost their jobs due to the coronavirus. The total amount being made available to his tenants is roughly $4 million. In addition, he is also making a major contribution to our first responders as part of the PPE donation drive at Minute Maid Park, scheduled for this coming Wednesday from 12 to 3 at Minute Maid. And this is being done by Shania, the Astros Foundation, and Project Cure. And so what we're asking people, companies, corporations to bring your PPEs to Minute Maid, 12 to 3. All of these supplies are going to our first responders and healthcare providers. To achieve that purpose, Swamnel Agarwal is donating for the acquisition of those PPEs, $100,000 for police, $100,000 to fire, and $100,000 to the Harris County Sheriff Office. I'll give it to him. So I want to thank him for being one of our largest apartment owners, just like Camden did. Rick Campo did the same thing on last week, and now Swamnel with 20,000 tenants in Texas, Nevada, Utah, and Kansas is also doing the same. So let me introduce Swamnel with more on what he's doing. Thank you so very much. Come on, Swamnel.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Sorry, I had to take my mask off. I'm not used to talking with the mask on. But you know, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur who grew up in Houston, I think this is the least I can do for the city that has given me everything. Our company is called Ntuba Capital, and a sister company is called Kalyan Property Management that manages all these apartments. And our foundation is called Kalyan Cares that will be providing rental assistance of up to $1,000 that will be applied towards their rent, people who have been directly affected and have lost their jobs because of this devastating virus. In addition, the first responders, the police department and the fire department and the sheriff department, the least we can do for them is to make sure that they are protected, and their safety is of ultra importance to somebody like us, because they are trying to help the whole city in this time of need. So that's a decision we made to make sure that they have the protective gear and they are able to perform their services without being worrying about getting sick themselves. So it is my honor, and hopefully we can all overcome, the city can overcome, and this nation can overcome this enemy that we're facing, which is a faceless enemy. And hopefully within 4 or 5 weeks, we're all back to our normal life. And Kalyan and Ntuba and myself personally will be available. If anybody has any other needs or they want to reach out, we'd be more than happy to support any cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamnel. I really appreciate it. Houston is an amazing place with some amazing individuals and business leaders as well. So thank you so very much. Okay, we'll pause right now. We'll take any questions that anyone may have.
There apparently is a program through Harris County for $10 million in small business loan fund to help trials that they're having during the pandemic. Apparently, Commissioner Garcia has indicated that he hopes the city could contribute to the fund. Is there anything in the works on the city side in regards to this?
We're looking at it, but a lot of competing needs. But we're looking at anything that we can do to assist businesses, especially small businesses, within our capability. We certainly will. But no specific plans have been laid out at this point.
Okay, the White House advisory that Americans should try to avoid grocery stores and pharmacies over the next 2 weeks as the outbreak is expected to get worse. Do you have a message for Houstonians regarding these 2 weeks and doing anything even more cautious in this period?
Well, for us to continue to do what we have been doing and even more so, and that's engaging in social distancing, That's the critical component. Stay home. If you're not working for an essential employee, if you have to venture to, let's say, to the grocery store or to the pharmacy, make sure that you're staying 6 feet from the next person. So engage in social distancing. That's whether you're at home, whether you're at the grocery store. As we repeatedly said, we're not closing down the grocery stores, and there's no problem with the food supply of grocery stores. But social distancing, as Dr. Purse said earlier, that's the key component to all of this.
Are fast food workers or grocery store workers who have been getting tested positive for the virus, and is that concerning you?
I am sure tested positively, regardless of what organization or business you may be in. Same thing with respect to City of Houston municipal employees, same thing for the county. I think if where there are people, there have been somebody impacted in some shape or form. And I think people are taking proper precautions to try to keep that to a minimum as much as possible. And so I want to applaud people. There are businesses that are putting up facial shields, glass in front, glass behind their employees, providing them with masks and other things, cleaning on a regular and systematic basis. So there are a number of things that are taking place in order to keep these essential businesses going.
Discussion about President Trump's recommendation that the anti-malarial drug chloroquine and its other counterpart could be very helpful in the fight against the coronavirus. Obviously, there's been some caution on the medical side about that without any clinical trials to back that up. Are you concerned about the advocacy for this drug, absent some of this for a scientific basis?
Thank you, Mayor. So I think that, now is not a whole lot different from any other time. So medications, all medications are designed and have a specific purpose. When misused, there are often consequences to that. And so whether it be chloroquine or some of the other medications that we're hearing, they really need to be used properly, which means that they need to be investigated properly. Everybody right now is looking for something to give us an edge against this virus. And I, as a physician, I thirst for that as much as anyone else. But also as a physician, I have seen, and having taught medical history, how over the decades, we have been too anxious and had consequences where more people got hurt than were benefited. And so while I respect that the president is looking, like all of us are, for something to help us out, we still need to be responsible and investigate these drugs in the right way so that we don't hurt somebody.
For Chief Acevedo from one of the Spanish stations asking for a Spanish response.
We were actually planning far later, so we're happy to do it now if you'd like me to.
Okay, it was just are there reports of increased aggravated assaults in the city during this time? That,
Sí, desgraciadamente en las últimas 3 semanas hemos visto que los asaltos grabados serios han subido por como 10% y desgraciadamente el 50% de esos son violencia doméstica. Es importante que las familias, las comunidades sepan que si es víctima, no tenga temor. No importa si estás aquí indocumentado o no, por favor, reporte la violencia doméstica. Vaya a un negocio, vaya a una casa, vaya a casa de un amigo, por favor, reporte lo que estamos aquí para protegerlos.
The
Spanish again?
This is not requested to be in Spanish. This
Okay.
is there's been some concern about obviously churches and other organizations gathering in large numbers. The Governor Abbott's order kind of seems to exempt them, but is the police department responding to a substantial number of complaints about businesses or individuals who are gathering in violation of the order?
No, we're not getting about some of the parks, and obviously one of our officers responded. People immediately, once they were reminded of the social distancing requirements and the current health requirements in our city, complied. We had one complaint this week of a bar that was trying to be a speakeasy. And word to the wise, if you operate a bar and you're trying to be a speakeasy, word gets out. We are investigating those. There's only been one, and we did investigate it, and we didn't find any irregularities. But there will be no verbal warning, there will be no warning. There will be immediate enforcement action with us in the fire department, and we will do everything we can with TABC to require that they request that they take action on somebody's liquor license if they violate this order by recklessly putting us all in danger by having people come to bars and congregate and be inside that establishment. So we did investigate one this week, and we didn't find any violation.
Which call the police non-emergency number?
Call the non-emergency number, you can get transferred, or you can call the local division of the Houston Police Department, your local station, and we'll jump on it right away. I promise. Let me tell you what happened this weekend. We had because the work goes on for the police department. We are fully operational. We had some full gang members on social media pointing a gun at a police officer. The police officer from the East Police Department didn't know he was having a gun pointed at them. Those two crooks are now in custody. So if people think that we're not operational, we're sadly mistaken, and we have two gang members that now found out in a matter of hours after they posted something on social media, which was a threat, they found themselves behind bars where they belong. Okay? Is that it?
There was
thank you very much.
There was a question, were you gonna ask?
Your thoughts on the testing situation? You've alluded to this. It was spoken to this morning with the judge in Hidalgo. The challenges that the ability to test and or on that, sir.
Well, the testing is certainly not nearly as robust as we would like. We would love to be doing 20 to 30,000 tests in the city of Houston at this point, rather than roughly 5,000 that's been done. And those are the public tests. Now there are some private testing that's taking place as well. That's not factored into those numbers. LA or Chicago. The city of Houston has been taking those same mitigation steps, irrespective of our numbers, okay? And we have been taking steps to mitigate this situation starting in the first week of March. And as you know, on March the 11th, the rodeo came to an end. On March 17th, restaurants, bars, clubs were suspended in terms of their businesses. Then March 24th was the stay home, work safe order. So even though our numbers have been relatively low, in part because the testing has not been as robust, we have not delayed our actions because of those numbers. We have been just as aggressive as New York and LA and all of these other places. And I think as a result of that, the number that I would like to emphasize, where in those other places, the death number is much, much, much higher. For the city of Houston today, we are at 10, okay? And in New York City, for example, I think the number may be well over 4,000. City of Houston is at 10. Now, that's not to say that things couldn't go dramatically wrong tomorrow, but